a minute. And then I'll open it up for questions and answers if there are any. If anybody would like to chat about anything, that's what I'm here for. I also want to call attention to a colleague of mine who's sitting over here in the last row, Tommy Lee Moffat. Would you stand up, Tommy? Tommy has got a CD. Tommy's got a CD for sale on the back table. It's $10 each. I'm afraid it has to be in cash. But Tommy is kind enough to decide to sing a whole CD of my songs.
Wow.
And it's very thrilling for me to have these songs out there sung by such a great singer. And evidently one of the songs, one of the songs is charting in Europe right now as we speak. So, international stardom awaits, and we're having some fun with it. Meanwhile, for those of you who have not noticed, this book, Fatal, is not a Dismas Hardy book. I miss Dismas, but I had to leave him for a while for various reasons. He was going to sue me, This lawyer thing can get overwhelming, and so I decided to give it a rest for a little while. And the good news is the next Dismas Hardy book is already done.
Oh, good.
So that'll be the 2018 book. I'm going to book the band Zorelli again. In fact, as of tonight, I'm considering this a firm date. So that'll be good. And I thought I would just read a few pages of the opening of this book, so I'm not really giving anything away. This book began, as people who read the Enterprise article may have realized, it began with another book entirely. I had an idea that I wanted to write a book called The Fireman, and I had no idea what it was about, but that's always the case. I never know what I'm going to be writing about. But in this case, I wrote about 140 pages of this book, The Fireman, and it just wasn't working for me. So I said, well, I only have about 3 months to go to have a book that I have to hand in for my deadline. So I better not angst about this too much anymore. I better just get something written. So I took an example from my wife's life where she goes out and, Lisa, you can stand up if you want. She goes on periodic walks with her girlfriends from time to time, and they talk about all kinds of interesting things. Karen, do you want to stand up too? No. So anyway, they talk about all these interesting things, and I have been surprised and amazed by many of the conversations that I've heard recounted. And I decided to pick a totally fictional, let me just say, made this up. But I just figured it would start something, and it turned out it did. It started this book, and the book wrote itself in about 3 months. So, and by the way, it starts on May 12th, which happens to be Lisa's birthday. That's not a coincidence. Kate Jameson and Beth Tully walked west at the bayside edge of Crissy Field. The lines of the Golden Gate Bridge materialized in haphazard fashion through the fog in front of them, but neither paid much attention. This was a view they encountered nearly every time they walked together, and they usually tried to do that once a week, but none of it really registered. Not the choppy gray-green bay sloshing to their right, the bridge looming ahead, the kite boarders, the sailboats, the joggers passing by, all of it swathed in ubiquitous wispy fog. They'd been roommates 20 years before at the University of San Francisco, and though their lives had taken different turns, they were still close friends who rarely ran out of things to talk about. The walk from Ghirardelli Square to the bridge and back took them about an hour, and usually the first half of that got devoted to discussing their offspring, Kate's 2 and Beth's 1, all teenagers. There was never a dearth of material. When they finally arrived at the bridge and turned around, they'd usually chit-chatted enough about les enfants. They had several mutual acquaintances, mostly from the old days, and the same recurring personalities from the greater worlds of the kids, schools, or sports teams, or their domestic lives. And the normal walk back to where they'd begun was all gossip, laughter, agreement, connection. But today, not even halfway to the bridge, Beth said, and so finally there was Ginny, her 17-year-old, sitting inside the refrigerator with a pork chop on her knee. Getting no response, she kept walking for a few more steps and then stopped mid-stride. Earth to Kate, come in please. What? I'm sorry, what were you saying? Well, the last minute or so I was just making stuff up, wondering if you'd noticed, which I have to say you didn't. Are you all right? Sure, she hesitated. I think so. But something, no, it's nothing. That old elusive nothing? Maybe. Should we keep walking? Unless you want to head back. No, I'm good, I'm sorry, let's keep going. Falling in step together, they covered a couple of 100 yards in silence before Beth reached over and touched the sleeve of Kate's workout jacket. You can tell me, you know, she said, whatever it is. I know, but that's not what I'm saying, or not saying. It really isn't anything, at least not yet. She shook her head once, emphatically. It shouldn't ever be anything. That sounds ominous enough. Beth paused, then said, tell me, please, it's not Ron. Kate reacted almost as though she'd been stung. No. Ron's great. He's always great. It's not him. But it's somebody, something? A nod. It's something. They had come up beside a bench that bordered the path, and Kate stopped, hands deep in her pockets. Maybe we could sit a minute. Sure. They both sat, and Beth waited. Kate finally started. I don't know what happened exactly. We went over to Ron's partner's house for dinner on Saturday. Do you know Jeff and Bean a cook? Well, no. Well, it doesn't matter. It wasn't them. But there was another couple there that we didn't know. Nice people, kind of normal, like us really. I mean, like me and Ron, lawyer husband and sweet wife, 2 kids, house payments, all of the above. Okay, and so we had this nice dinner and sat around talking afterwards, finishing our wine the way people do, you know. And nothing groundbreaking, just relaxed and easy, and then we all said goodnight and went home. A rogue gust of wind swept by them, trailing a small cloud of dust and debris. When it had passed, Beth turned to her friend. Did I miss something? I know, right? I told you, nothing happened. Except whatever it was seems to have your attention in a major way. Kate pushed her hands more deeply into her jacket pockets. Ron and I came home and went to bed, and an hour later I was in the living room, wrapped in a comforter, wide awake. I couldn't get the idea out of my head that I was going to have sex with this guy. I mean, it was right there, large, like this massive, I don't know, need. I couldn't get rid of it, and I've been living with it ever since. It's like the idea is totally consuming me. I can't think of anything else. It's making me a crazy person. Maybe you're just horny, girlfriend. Kate shook her head. It's nothing to do with horny. Ron and I have been, well, 3 times in the past week. I promise you that's not the problem. Did something happen between the 2 of you, you and this guy at the dinner? No, nothing. That's the thing. We barely talked to each other. There wasn't really even any reason to think I would have noticed him or him me. He's no better looking than Ron, and her wife is kind of cute. Well, you're a little more than kind of cute, Kate. I'm sure he noticed you. Okay, maybe, but basically he's just another guy, a really normal, average guy who I've gotten fixated on. She turned on the bench, put her hand out on Beth's arm. And don't think I don't realize how ridiculous this is. You haven't done anything, have you, with him? Oh, God, no, I couldn't. I mean, not that I ever would. It would kill Ron and mess up our kids' lives. I know that, of course. I couldn't let that happen. I probably shouldn't even have told you, but I don't know what to do here. I've never had anything like this happen before, not since I've been married anyway. I have Ron, I really do. And I don't know anything about this guy. I wasn't really even consciously aware of him, but then somehow, after we got home, the idea was just there, and it was... She brought her hands up to her forehead, then brought them back through her hair. I don't know what it was, or is. Well, I do, Kate, truly. It's dumb and dangerous. I know, that's probably why I'm telling you, because I want to hear you say that. Okay, I told you, Beth said. And do you hear me? I do. Good, because I'm dead serious here, Kate. This is nothing to play around with. A little fantasy maybe, okay, but take it out on Ron and you've got to do something about it. That's good advice. Damn straight it is. We're not in high school anymore. Acting on this is the kind of thing that ruins lives. I got it, really. You've convinced me. I'm not going to do anything about it, which will be easy since I don't even know the guy's last name or how to get in touch with him. Good. Keep it that way. I will. Promise? Swear to God. Kate made a sign over her chest. Cross my heart and hope to die.